Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you are new to the channel, a big warm welcome. My name is Tristan Mortlock and this is Captain's Vlog. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about a few comments that I got in a video that I posted over last summer. The video in question is called How We Dock a Super Yacht to a Rock. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link just here so you can watch it afterwards. Now, I've got a number of comments, asking or basically stating that the way we docked the vessel to the rock, that we had basically blocked out the whole cove to the rest of other boats, the access for other boats, because of our anchor chain. Because basically what happened, let's pretend for a moment that this here is the entrance into the cove. This green patch here is land, the blue line is the sea, and this is land. So in the video, what we did is we had come in on the boat, we dropped our anchor here, and then we reversed all the way back and then tied two stern lines to the other side of the cove. So a few comments that we did get on that particular video, I'll just quickly read them to you. One comment from Sociopathic Narcissist, obviously a reliable comment. It looks like you are effectively blockading the entrance to the cove with your anchor line on one side of the cove and your stern line on the other side. Another comment is from Thomas. Thanks for another great video. I do have two questions for you about it. It looks like you put your anchor on one side of the bay and tied to the rocks on the other side. Question one, if you are allowed to block the bay like that, and the other question is, why didn't you put the anchor in the middle of the bay? Now that's a good question. And then finally, yes, this is a good question as well. This is from Eugene Moore. How do you choose and attach the line to the rock? Amazing how you basically close off the cove when you do this. Now, I think a lot of people totally misunderstand how anchoring works. When you're anchoring a 308 gross ton luxury super yacht, it's very different to anchoring a 5-meter rib or a 20-foot rib. They're very different. I'm going to explain to you in this video. So what I've done, as you can see, the little drawing here, basically to drawing of the entrance into the cove. As I mentioned earlier, what we did is we dropped an anchor around here somewhere in this area here. Let's say, I'll use the black pen, that we dropped our anchor, for argument's sake, let's say here, okay? Anchor is dropped there. So when we drop the anchor, the bow of the vessel is gonna be obviously straight above it. So this is the vessel, above, excuse my drawing, but let's say something like that, okay? And then obviously on the anchor, we have the anchor chain. Now remember, this is anchor chain, not an anchor line. I'm going to explain to you why that's so important further along this video. So what happened is, in the video, Slavin, the chief engineer, got the order from me to drop the anchor. Now the depth of water available beneath the keel, okay, so we draw 2 meters, or 2.5 meters, depending on how much load we have. So let's say, in argument's sake, 2 meters. So let's say this is actually the vessel here, okay? It's obviously not in proportion, so do bear with me. So beneath the keel here, on our echo sounder, so we have a little echo sounder here in the middle of the vessel that sends out a signal, it hits the seabed, it reflects, and it tells us our depth of water. So beneath the keel, we had 20 meters available. So 20 meters is substantial depth. And on board, we have two anchors. We have the port anchor and the starboard anchor. And as you will see in the video, we only dropped one anchor, which was our starboard anchor. And our starboard anchor, the length of the anchor is a total of 5 shackles. If you don't know what a shackle is, it's a length of around 27 meters. So what we did, we dropped the anchor here. Remember that this here, that direction is the entrance to the cove, the bay, whatever you prefer to call it. So I get the order to drop the anchor. I had, in the video you will see, I had the chase boat go with our stern lines to the shore. It was Chad the deckhand and Harry the chase boat driver, and they went to shore to secure the strops, which are then secured to the stern lines. So on small boats, when you drop the anchor, you will then bring the vessel back and you pull the anchor tight. So in other words, I'll do a little drawing here. This is, let's say this is a little small boat here, okay? And let's say you're drop anchoring here, okay? And then you'll be pulling that line tight to hold the anchor in place. Now, normally on smaller boats, you have maybe 5 meters of chain, the initial part, maybe 10, depends, it varies. But really what's helping is the anchor is gripping into the seabed, whether it be mud, sand, whatever it is, and that holds the vessel in place. Now, with bigger vessels, it's very different. The anchor, you don't want the anchor to be working. What anchors the vessel in place is in fact the weight of the chain. And the weight of the chain acts as a type of spring. So as the vessel, as we are going astern towards where we want to be docked, we want to end up about, let's say, here. Okay. And when we get there, we have our anchor down, and then we're going to have our 2 stern lines going to the rocks ashore. Now, I would guess that most people would believe that, or that don't understand how anchoring works on bigger vessels, that the anchor that is there, that would be a straight line all the way to the anchor. And unfortunately, for people that believe that, they are greatly mistaken. The reality is the chain is so heavy and acts as a spring, is that when the anchor, apologies for the drawing guys, when the anchor is dropped and we go astern, depending on the wind conditions really, is the anchor is dropped, and normally the anchor would sit on the seabed, so let's just correct this picture here, because the anchor doesn't actually sit like that. The reality is the anchor is something like, excuse my drawing, like that, and it's on the seabed. Okay? The truth is, on a vessel this size, what will happen is, let's have the anchor, let's get another color pen so you guys can see a bit better. See, it's a red one. And the red is going to represent the chain of the anchor. So what will happen, the reality is the chain actually follows the seabed. And depending on how tight you have it, bear in mind we have 5 shackles. One shackle is 27 meters. Is virtually impossible for a vessel of that size and that much chain to have it that taut. So let's say it reaches about 3/4 the length of this cove. That's when it's very, very tight and on a windy day. And then from there, what actually happens is it starts to curve around and then enter into the vessel. Now, subject to wind, swell, current, the vessel will be moving back and forth. And as you can see with this curve here, it acts as a type of spring. So if the vessel was to be pushed back from the wind, this obviously will start doing this and moving up. But then the weight of the rest of the chain will bring it back down again, and then up, and then down. So then you can see from the picture, I do apologize for my artwork, it is pretty horrendous, is that, and then obviously the vessel is oversized, it's actually a lot smaller, is any vessel coming in and out has plenty of space. Remember, we've got 20 meters of depth here. And so for people saying that we are blocking the channel, I'm sorry to say, you are wrong on every single level. We had vessels coming in and out. We were there for 2 days or 3 days. We had vessels coming in and out, no problem at all. Now, on another video that I did, an older video when we came into Portofino, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link just up here as well, is a lot of questions I got on that video is, why do you put out so much chain and the anchor so far away from the vessel? Well, if the picture doesn't explain it enough, the reality is for bigger vessels, this includes cargo ships, container ships, big vessels. If you've got the space and the available depth of water and you're not, causing any obstructions, the more chain you let out, okay, bear in mind you've got to take in consideration your anchor radius, dangers within the radius, whether it be shallow waters, other vessels at anchor in the bay, it could be buoyage, it could be anything. The more chain you let out, the more secure and safer the vessel is. Because as I mentioned earlier, the chain is actually doing the anchoring. What you don't want on a vessel this size is the chain to get so tight that starts dragging your anchor. That can happen on very, very windy conditions. So that is the reason why we put the anchor so far away, as much out as you possibly can, because the vessel then is more secure. And anyway, guys, so I hope that explains to you all how we anchor in these coves and why we anchor. Because anchoring a small boats like this, I've done this before, a video of anchoring a small boat. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link just up here. We were on I think it was a 5-meter rib with a 40 horsepower outboard. And basically what I did, I show you how we used the wind to our advantage. It was onshore winds. We dropped the anchor out and we literally let the wind push the tender right pretty much on the beach. We trimmed the outboard up, locked it off there. It was just perfect, but also the conditions were in our favor. So anchoring a small boat is very different to anchoring a larger vessel. Again, whether it be a luxury super yacht, a ferry, a cruise ship, container ship, that is essentially how it is done. And in some cases, we do drop 2 anchors, but in this video, we just dropped the 1. Another question we got is, what happens if the weather gets bad? We continuously monitoring and watching weather forecasts. When we are not in port, somebody is awake 24/7 monitoring the conditions. And in some cases, yeah, if the weather does pick up, we will have to adjust the lines, adjust the anchors, or worst case scenario, drop the lines, lift the anchor, and just go cruising, because sometimes being at sea is safer than being tied to an island with your anchors down. Now, finally, just to go back on a few other comments that we got, is with the stern lines, is with the strops we were using, we had the purple ones, which a lot of you, well, some of you that commented are tested to withstand 1 metric ton of weight, and it wasn't sufficient. The truth is, yes, you are correct, but at the time that we had tied this vessel to these rocks, we knew the weather conditions, and we had pre-ordered 2 times 4-ton strops to tie to the shore, which was on a later video. You can watch other videos. And then we bought the bright red polypropylene line, which is buoyant and is visible during the day. At night, we have 2 lights attached on the 2 stern lines so other boats can see them. But it's very unusual to have vessels pass astern of you, because we were like 7-8 meters away. Even if we didn't have the lines, I wouldn't like vessels passing that close to me anyway. So guys, that's pretty much it for the video. But before you click off, we are actually offering you the chance to win an all-inclusive week's vacation on board Motor Yacht AWOL. And all you have to do is go to the link in the description, the raffle link, follow the instructions and buy your tickets. If you haven't done already, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. And if you enjoy this video, do click the thumbs up button, because it really, honestly, just clicking that like button, I know a lot of YouTube channels ask the same thing. It really does help the channel to grow. If you're interested in more yachting content from myself and the Motor Yacht AWOL team, then follow us on our Instagram account at super-yacht captain. Guys, as always, I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. I look forward to seeing you all next time. See you and ciao.